What's up, flappers? Welcome back to another video, and today, yes, we do have a special guest here on screen. It might just be a one-time thing, but we'll see. All right, we got the paper man. It finally took me some time, but I finished essentially this event, and I gotta say, it was quite the experience. I did get a little emotional. I wish that more content like this would be released, a good mixture of story and combat. But then again, you know, there's casual players as well. Some people just don't enjoy this. I get it. Right now, jumping back onto what we're gonna be talking about this video, and as you can see, she's here front and center, Hutao. And I know the title of this video is going to rub some people the wrong way, and at the same time, I feel like it's important that we address this and stop shying away from it. And that is going to be character nerfs. Not directly though. It's going to be content that weeds out a lot of characters over the long term of Genshin's lifespan. Currently, we are already seeing the potential of Hutao's downfall, and that is mainly coming from external sources, right? When I look at a character like Hutao, it's obvious that from the beginning, she was never meant to be this multi-purposeful character. She does one thing and she does one thing very well, and at the same time, she does do that one thing with certain conditions as well. So that being said, there are certain things about Hutao that just doesn't seem to be able to hold up to the test of time. And as I've played her every single day since her release, I've built many teams around her as well. It's gotten more and more apparent with recent patches that it's just a little more difficult to play her than the past. Other characters are starting to show up as better options, and yet I am still here stubbornly playing Hutao, mostly because she's easy to play. I've gotten really used to how she flows in the game and just generally how well she performs on a consistent level once you got the right team around her. So one of the first things that I think MiHoYo has done to nerf Hutao is the introduction of the corrosion effect. And while you guys may think that the corrosion effect is used to deal with shielding, it actually hurts Hutao more than you would think. Now, the main and obvious reason is going to be the bleed effect. All right, the bleed effect is difficult for Hutao to navigate around more so than other units, especially because she already costs HP to just deal damage, and now we have to deal with continuous bleeding as well. At the same time, it's very difficult to balance Hutao's HP at 50%. Anybody who has played her will know if you don't have a shielder, if you don't have a decently or a calibrated healer, it's difficult to balance it just at 50%. It's usually either like around 30% or below or above 50% somehow. And now adding the corrosion effect to that as well. Listen, people, you might think, oh, you know, I'm dealing with the elite mobs very well. I can deal with the normal corrosion wolves, no problem. But most of these monsters, if you do realize, have 4 different forms. We are only introduced to the first 2. There's going to come likely a wolf boss, I would like to think. They're not just gonna slap on this cool design of these new wolf monsters built in with new mechanics and then just completely drop them for a higher difficulty level. We're likely going to get a wolf boss and then likely even a weekly tier of this wolf boss. I would imagine that it's in the works somehow, and I'm not looking at leaks. All right, people who watch my content knows I don't look at leaks, but even me, somebody who's just outright speaking my own opinion without giving it a second thought sometimes, even me, I can see a world where there's going to be a boss with this mechanic, a corrosion mechanic built in, a weekly boss where Hutao is just gonna struggle, man. Like, and if we're going down this train of thought, if the boss is going to be the wolf, these things fly, people. And you might be wondering, well, how does that affect Hutao? Hutao cannot reach these bosses if they were to frickin' take off into the air like a frickin' battleship. Now, I might be grasping at straws. I might be just trying to create problems that don't exist, but I'm worried. I can see how MiHoYo is going to bring Hutao down from where she originally was, and she might be the first Liyue Big 3 to take a big hit. Now, listen. Does that mean Hutao becomes irrelevant? No. Does that mean Hutao is gonna be bad? No. But this is something we gotta start thinking about, right? MiHoYo's not gonna let these characters sit at the top forever, and it's very, very, very realistic for them to start implementing external things that can put these characters out of business. So with the case of Hutao, I've mentioned with the corrosion and also bosses that makes it difficult for Hutao to deal damage. Rerunning Hutao first may very likely be MiHoYo's way of shafting her in future patches. Imagine if newer bosses that come like the ones I mentioned are already existent in the game, would you realistically still pull for Hutao, especially for the people who are more meta driven, thinking Hutao is going to be great, thinking that they need a great pyro DPS? Probably not. They're going to be like, oh wow, Hutao doesn't deal with any of the current content very well, so I'm not going to pull for her. So that's why they rerun Hutao first, then they introduce higher, more difficult versions of the wolf monsters built in with Corrosion. Now, since we're so deep down this rabbit hole already, let's take a thought and think, what is a unit that actually can deal with these wolf bosses fairly well? If they were to freaking take off like jumbo jets, who's going to be able to reach them if you're looking for a pyro DPS who's also single target, which is going to be great for bosses? Yoimiya, alright? I personally do think that MiHoYo is finding ways, albeit very roundabout ways, to make Yoimiya more favorable in the long term comparative to Hutao. Now, that being said, like I mentioned previously, Hutao will always have a role in the game to be played. She will always have preferential teams that likely will always be better than certain Yoimiya teams in certain situations, and I think that's a great and healthy thing to have for the game. It's just that currently, as the game continues to grow in this particular direction, there needs to be counters to units that are just this strong, right? And don't worry, Zhao, Ganyu, it's gonna get to their turn eventually. Just like Zhongli is being targeted along with other shielders, Dendro may introduce more mechanics that makes it difficult to play characters like Hutao, meaning it's going to separate the good Hutaos from the great Hutaos from just the people who are jumping on a bandwagon to try to get some cheap power from a top tier unit in the current meta. Now, this is the good thing about Genshin Impact. It doesn't matter if your character that you're playing is in the meta or not in the meta. If you are good enough at the game and understand the character well enough, you're going to be able to make them shine regardless. There are currently Xinyan mains who are able to 36 star the Abyss through amazing and crafty team compositions along with spectacular character control. That's what makes this game actually very interesting. All I'm doing here today is letting you guys know that on the horizon, we may be seeing character nerfs through additional content, and we should welcome it. This is miles better than the alternative, which is power creeping. All right. That being said, people, I'm going to be live streaming tonight, and I'm going to be giving away one Hutao during tonight's live stream. You have to be at the live stream. You have to be subscribed, and I do urge you to join my Discord if you want to know the additional information. Again, I hope you guys are having a great time in patch 2.2. I'm having a blast with this event, and going forward, I'm very excited for Ito and the resurface of the Geode brothers. Let's see what that's going to be all about in the patch 2.3 live stream, which likely will happen roughly a week from now. All right, so hope to see you guys all in the live stream, where I'll be summoning a C6 Hutao for a viewer and a couple other Hutaos for people who are really hoping to get them. Good luck with the giveaway, good luck with your summons, and have fun in the world of Teyvat. Till next time, urge you all to stay safe and peace.